Welcome back, everybody. As you probably guessed from the title and the thumbnail of this video, today we're going to be going over the lights in Olight's April flash sale, and there's two of them, predominantly anyway, that I think this audience is going to be most interested in, and we'll start out with those. Then we'll discuss the other lights, do a beam comparison, and at the end, that'll pretty much wrap it up. But just to let everybody know, full disclosure, Olight did send these out for this video, and there is an affiliate link down below if you guys want to pick one up. It does support the channel, so we appreciate that. So first off, they'll have like a gift. They always have those just for folks going over there. Additionally, it is a limited time sale, so if you guys are watching the video, it should be going on right now. So first light up I think folks are going to dig is the Marauder Mini. This guy right here has a bunch of different LEDs in there. As you can see, the center one is focused for candela, and then all the other ones are both colored as well as give you a lot of flood. So this thing has literally 90,000 candela, which you guys are going to see here in a second. But it's not just a thrower, it has a ton of flood, as you will see as well. It also has the ability to project in different colors, red, blue, and green. And basic controls on it are this wheel here, and you just have to spin it to unlock it. It is always locked, and the reason for that is any light that is this high output is rather has the danger of like possibly starting a fire, like if it was turned on in a bag or something like that. And that's not like an Olight thing, that's any super high output flashlight. So that's why it has that lock on there. So you have to just kind of spin it a little bit and then turn it on, and you can work through the different modes that it does have. Additionally, you guys probably can't see it because it is bright and sunny as of when I'm recording this, but there is battery indicators on the right side here, and then intensity indicators on the left. And as you spin it, it gets more intense, and then it gets to a point. I don't know if my microphone's picking that up, but it vibrates a little bit when it actually gets to the max output. And basically right now it is on the everything coming out of the light mode. And then you can switch it via this little switch here on the body of the light, and that will just have the throw only versus the total output. Then we do have this little clip here. If you wanted to use it as a lanyard, you can do so, and then we'll just turn it off there. And if you want to work through the different colors, you just press and hold, and it will go through the different colors. It will also come on to the last setting, with the exception of the max output. So basically you have to turn the dial to get it to the max output. If you have it on the max output, turn it off and turn it back on, will come to the second highest output. I'm guessing that is, again, just a safety consideration. Of course, the bottom here is magnetic, and it is rechargeable via the USB cord that comes with it, but it will also stick to things as well, which certainly is nice. We have this nice rubber over molding on there with finger grooves, so you can hold it like that. And it also comes with a holster, and you guys are going to see the output of that in a second. I'm laughing because it's insane. And we have this guy here, which is the PL-3R. So basically it is a rechargeable weapon light, and you guys can see there that we have the place where the battery, or the USB rather, charger goes. And then on this side here, we do have both Glock and 1913 inserts that come with it, Glock compatible, and you can slide it to be whichever position on the rail you want to. So if you need to snug it in a little bit more, you can. If you need to push it out a little bit more, you can. And then once you actually turn this to lock it down, it will stay in that position. It comes with the tape switch that you guys see here, and in the body of the light, this is different than the previous ones. Basically, where on the magnetic portion of it, it's recessed around it, and the actual tape switch is elongated, the piece of aluminum that goes in there. And so what that does is it causes a friction lock when you try to pull it. So you can pull, and it is very difficult to go, and really the only way it actually comes off is if you pull at an angle like this. If you pull straight up, it won't come, but if you pull at an angle like that, it will, or if you just jiggle it the wrong way. But it is more secure than the previous mounting methods. That said, I'm not a fan of any tape switches for serious use. That's my personal preference. You guys can choose however you want. But the side switches here work even with the tape switch on there, so that's something that is nice. It's redundant in that regard. So your tape switch has the low and the high pads. The high pad is the big one, and of course it's 1913 compatible on there. The mount is actually pretty good, but your low output will press and hold for constant on, or momentary on rather, and then you just let go. And if you want constant on, you just click it. And the same is true for high. So both of them work for momentary and constant, so that is good. And then again, the same is true here for our switches on the sides. Obviously, I'm holding it right now as it would be configured on a rifle, but it's primarily designed as a pistol light. 10,000 candela on it, so it will be at home on either a pistol or a rifle, but it's also going to give you a nice flood of light as well. And the price point on this during the sale is pretty attractive. I am not mad about it at all. I've been using these Olight pistol lights for a long time. Many of you guys have seen one that was down in my lake for a long time and still worked at the bottom. And then we have a couple other lights as well. They also have this little Olight tool that they are offering for this time. And we have this gigantic O-Bulb Plus. This one is operated via an app or manually. The app will give you more options, but it has white light in various degrees of intensity as well as multicolor options as well. And they also have this little light here, which is basically you just turn it and it's designed to be brighter than an iPhone. That's really what it's for, but it's keychain light. And then you have this guy here, this is a limited edition color. It's a pink kind of like sprinkle, like ice cream sprinkle pattern. I don't make this stuff up, but it is the i3T EOS. And I've always said this one's powered by an AA battery. I've always said these lights would be great lights if they were high-low in terms of the interface, but they're not. They're low-high. So basically you press it, comes on in low, and then you have to click twice to get it on in high. And it has that nice two-way clip as well. Very small, very easy to throw in a pocket and kind of forget about until you need it. And for the size, it has a very good output, as you guys will see here in a second. So I suppose with that, let's check out the output of all of these different lights. We have our camera set on manual, and it is as close to what I see here with my human eye. You guys can see we do have some noise pollution out here because this house is not in the middle of nowhere. And if I turn the i3T, that little EDC light, on in the low mode that it comes on in, you guys can see that wood fence there. It may be difficult to see right now, but it meets an iron fence right there, and this is the output from that little light. There's some trees in the background, and those are about 40 to 50 feet away. And if we just work through the different modes, I missed it. And there you go. This is the high output from that little light. Again, I think it would be a great little light if it came on in high-low for a lot of different purposes, but it doesn't. And I've been saying that for years, and they're still not making it. It is what it is. So that is the output from this little light. Now you're looking at the output from the PL-3R. This is on low. You can get an idea of the hotspot of the light there. At this distance, probably, I don't know, 15 feet wide as it meets the fence there, but decent amount of throw. And again, this is on low. So if we switch it over into high, that is the output on high. Very, very big difference in terms of the output. Has a good hotspot for weapon type use, but also a good amount of flood for overall situational awareness. And again, that is the output on high, and then again on low. Here we have the output on the lowest setting with the Marauder Mini using both the flood as well as the throw. If we switch it over to just the throw, you guys can get an idea of that focused hotspot that you get there. But again, as soon as we switch it back, it may not be all that obvious on camera, but there's not a huge difference on low, especially less of a difference as we go up to high. We'll sort of work through the different lighting modes there. As you guys can see, it gets quite bright. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I'm going to spin it and stop talking. It does vibrate when you get it up to the highest level, and that is just an insane amount of light. I honestly don't think the camera can do it justice. It is bright out here right now. I'm sure the neighbors are looking out the windows, etc. This is a sight to be seen, if you will. And if we switch it over to focused only, you can get an idea of just how intense that hotspot is there. And back to flood, very, very intense. Now we're going to work through the different color settings. And of course, this is red. And all of the colors, you can actually switch the intensity as well. As you guys can see there, plenty of output, even in the colored mode. Obviously green, next up will be blue. And again, you can switch through the intensity if you want those different colors, and then we'll go back all the way on. And when it comes back to the white light mode, if you will, it will not go to the turbo mode unless you spin it. It will be one down, and of course the memory is wherever you left it off at if you didn't leave it at the highest setting. The new O-Bulb is going to be difficult to show in any type of setting, so we'll just show it out here and let you guys see. Again, though, the actual brightness and stuff, it's going to look very different. It's just hard to show on camera, but compared to anything else, it is much brighter for O-Bulb's sake. That's how it comes on in the low mode, and then you can press and obviously hold, make it much brighter. Maybe you guys will be able to get an idea of what that looks like out there if I put it behind me in terms of the actual output. And then of course it is controlled, like we said, by the app, but you can manually control it down to different settings, as you can see there, different intensity settings, and then work through all the different modes on the actual light, whether or not you want to use it for accent lighting, whatever the case may be. It has that capability as well as signaling capability. Again, the app has more capability, but just to quickly show you guys, that is the kind of output you could expect from it. We have moved down to the shore of the lake. I'm about 10 yards on my property. The lake at this point is about 110 yards across. And then there is a fishing shack that you guys will see here in just a second. That is about 10 yards back on the person across the lake's property. So we will go ahead and turn the Marauder on and turn it all the way down to low. You guys can get an idea with that bush right here to the right, just how it is throwing a wall of light out there. It's not 180 degrees, but I'd say at least 170 degrees. Just a wall of light in this configuration. You guys can see that fishing shack probably starting to appear on your camera a little bit. If we zoom in, that is it. Now, I'm gonna go through the modes here, and you guys are gonna see some crazy intense light going in there. That is on high. And again, if somebody was standing out there and they had something in their hand with your naked eye, it would be extremely visible to you. There's no doubt about it. You'd be able to pick it up and it would be very clear. This light is insane, guys. That is like 130 yards away. And to be able to see that clear, just kind of nuts. And switch it over into just the turbo, or just the candela mode there, focus beam mode, and then move it on back. And if we zoom out, again, that is just a wall of light. And then move it over just to the high candela mode there in the searchlight. You guys can get an idea of the output there, and move it on back, and then work down through the power illuminations and then through the different color modes. What's crazy is that even on red, it's quite bright. Move it to the green, it should be even brighter, and the blues. Again, guys, this is crazy. Like, to see that well with something in green, just a little bit nuts in terms of the overall output. And then of course the blue will be the same, and back to white. It does have the ability to switch into a strobe mode. I'm not going to do it because I know people get mad when I do it on video, but just know it does have the ability to strobe. Now back to the weapon mounted light, and to use that, this would be the low mode. Let me just click it so you guys can see there. And if we zoom in, you can get an idea of what that would look like. And just for contrast, to go to high, that's what that would look like there. So that would be high. And then we'll just zoom out. And again, for something like this, it's not designed to be a flood monster, or rather a throw monster, but it does have a good bit of candela for such a small light. And you guys can see again how well it's illuminating that bush with the peripheral flood. Now move it off, and you guys can see not a lot of light. Then move it on back. It's doing a good job kind of illuminating everything. Again, that is on high. And if we switch to the low, that's the output on low at distance. You can see you really do want that high mode if you're going to be looking for anything at distance with this particular light. Now, just to compare and contrast that with something that everybody knows, I have my stream light. This is the PL-3R HL. So 20,000 candela, 1,000 lumens. And that's the stream light right here that you guys are seeing the output from. And then again, that is the Olight on high, stream light, Olight for comparison. Now that you guys have seen the beam patterns, that really is all I have for you. Again, link down below in the video description to pick any of them up. The one thing I will say is that watching what you guys just saw at night, camera's on manual, so I have it as close as I can get it, obviously, to what I see, but it doesn't do justice to the insane wall of light that this thing puts out. But again, I've given you guys the best look at all of the different beam patterns as best as I can with the equipment that I have on hand. So with that, we'll close the video out. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.